Welcome to Nerd Alert, everyone. We have a fantastic guest this week, a topical guest, because his game Sunset Overdrive just came out the day we are taping this. This is Brandon Winfrey, the community manager slash host of Sunset TV. You may have noticed him in the game telling, well, before it was reviewers about the game, and now it's everyone.
Yeah. It's for actual people.
For real people.
Yes, reviewers are not real people.
I know. I know it in my heart, and I haven't admitted it yet. So tell me a bit about Sunset TV. It's kind of a very novel experiment or venture into combining video or updated video in video games.
Yeah, it's so really what we, honestly, the inception of Sunset TV was to break down the barrier between the developer and the community, which essentially that's what a community manager is for. But we were like, well, let's do it even further, instead of like, because even with social media and forums and stuff like that, there's still like a wall. So what we really wanted to do is say, well, let's just keep people updated within the game. So yeah, it's a streaming video, literally on billboards as you're zipping by in Sunset City, you'll see it, and you can go up and watch it.
You can stop if you feel like it.
Yeah, you can stop it, yes, you don't have to. And you can shoot my face.
Oh,
which is great.
Sure.
To shoot my face. So I'm sure half the people will do that, but the other half, you know, won't even care. So yeah, and basically what it does is it keeps players updated on content that's coming out for the game. You know, it lets them know. We want to show off fan art and cool like fan videos and stuff like that as well. So we really want it to be the player's show. Like
I didn't know that. I thought it was more for news updates, and you know, Sunset Overdrive is a very self-aware video game. It knows it's a video game, and it's breaking the fourth wall a lot.
For sure.
I didn't realize that it was also a community showcase.
Yeah, we really wanted to show them off too, because we, you know, that's what kind of drives, that's what gives things longevity now, is if people are really into it, they want to create cool things. And Sunset Overdrive is really a playground, so we want to see the awesome things people do. That's kind of the sad thing that happens, that you realize, is that you play your game for so long, for like 2 years when you're making it, and you think you're really good, and then the game is out for a day, and there's already people that are insanely better than you, doing amazing things.
It's a skill set for sure. I definitely have felt that curve a little bit.
Yes, oh, there is a difficulty curve, yes.
So when you've been working on this game for 2 years?
Yeah, technically 3. It was pre-production for about a year, and then full production for about 2.
So what went into putting the voice of Sunset Overdrive? Because it's, well, like I said, it's very self-aware. There is a vulgarity filter, which you can turn right the fuck off.
Yes, there we go.
And
if there was one here, it would just be a bleep.
Yeah, nothing. And it's this very bright world. It's an interesting world, to say the least.
Yeah, yeah. It was strange because the creative directors of this game, the creative director and the lead designer, are they were on Resistance 3, which I don't know if you guys played Resistance 3, but it was very dark, kind of typical apocalypse, like super dark. And that worked for that game. And the reason they made it that way is because they were both about to have daughters at the time. And they were like, oh man, so they were all about like doomsday preppers. And then they had a daughter, and it was fine. The world did not end. So, and really what they were doing is originally Sunset Overdrive was a lot kind of darker. And it was more like about scavenging in this kind of dark apocalypse. But they were like, essentially we don't want to do that. We want to do something bright and colorful, just because we don't want to be in that sadness for that long a time again. So they flipped it on its head, and were like, they thought about it, and it was like, actually, the apocalypse would be kind of awesome. Because you could just do what you want. Like, there's no more rules. Like, if you really embraced it, you could just run around doing what you want.
I mean, if there were certain elements in play, like, you know, physics works a certain way when you're grinding on rails.
Right.
Everything is bright, and you can find an absent-minded scientist just chilling at a bar somewhere.
That can make you superpowers?
Yes, absolutely, and he has that ability.
Well, you never know when the apocalypse happens. It could be that way.
Was this world inspired by anything in particular?
Most open world games are just built horizontally, because there's not this kind of traversal-based system. But since Sunset Overdrive really has traversal, it had to be built vertically as well. But if you look at it, like the starting area, it's lower, like the cities aren't super high. But as you progress through the game, it starts to get into skyscrapers, and it's huge, and you have to be better at the game in order to scale those things. So yeah, not just horizontally built, but vertically as well. So a lot of, like the whole city had to be meticulously designed so you could traverse everywhere. What
made traversals such an important part of the game? Because I remember I did an E3 interview, and the quote, "fuck crates" was used.
Yes. I think it was Traversal was one of those things that kind of morphed into the game as it was being developed as well. And it was really because when it was more about scavenging, they were like, we have to have a way to get around quicker. And honestly, I think honestly, ladders was one of those situations where they were like climbing ladders, and they were like, everyone hates climbing ladders in video games. Like, it's the worst. It's the worst. But like, that was the way to get around. And like, if you want to get on top of a building, you have to climb a ladder. And then we were like, well, let's just have a situation where you grab the ladder and you just fly up, and then you kind of eliminate that. And they're like,
what if the ladder was sideways?
Yeah,
what if it was all curved?
Exactly. What if the ladder didn't exist and you could bounce on that bush and just zoom up? So it just naturally evolved with the game, and then it eventually matched the tone of the game as well, when we really didn't want it to be about sitting behind cover. We wanted you to take the action to the actual enemy instead of waiting for them to come to you. We want you to go to them. So you need to be able to zip around. It's
something I'm still getting used to, because I'm like, I gotta crouch, wait. I don't have a button that does that.
There's no sprint button, there's none of that. We want you to grind around.
I was playing a lot of the stealth games before this, and it's like unlearning that and relearning. You know, I'm in the open the whole time now. Yeah. So it's, I definitely feel that learning curve.
Yeah, there's a learning curve, and we're fully aware of that, but people have been attaching to it, and you ramp up, like, you'll get better, don't worry.
I hope so.
Yeah, play inverted. I play inverted, and I'm great.
I play inverted.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yes, me too. There are not many of us left.
Everyone calls me crazy.
I know, right?
But it makes sense with physics if you had a camera.
Look, hey, look, I'm looking up. My head is going backwards.
Thank you. Okay, I know I'm gonna like you now for sure.
There we go.
For sure. So what's coming out for Sunset Overdrive? What can people look forward to?
There's a lot. We have weekly challenges in the game. So you do these weekly challenges. There's an individual challenge and there's a community challenge. So every week you can get more overcharge and just complete something as a community. Community challenges are every 2 weeks, but the individual ones are every week. And then there's also DLC coming. There's a season pass for the game, but it's a great deal for a season pass, because we're building it now, and I'm shocked at how, like, we're building new areas essentially. Like we're building whole new. We're not just making new missions within the existing Sunset City.
So no new fetch missions for me.
Probably not in normal Sunset City for sure. Yeah. So, but this is like new areas that we're building, which I think is special and unique to kind of have that level of brand new content for players. So, so that'll be coming down the road. We'll talk about that later. I don't know.
Let's just focus on what's happening today, which is the full game being released.
Which takes a while to get through. So.
Yeah, I played a little bit, just because it's been taking me a while to get through it. Looks good so far. I'm a fan. We did a playthrough, which you can check out, but you can also check out Brandon being here all week as the special guest on Nerd Alert. Brandon, thanks so much for coming in.
No problem. Thank you.